with Malcolm Conlon.
Thank you for always supporting Fourth Impact, and please, you can download our new song, No More.
And all digital platforms.
Yes. And you can follow us on all our social media accounts. Just type Fourth Impact, and everything is verified. So,
Thank you.
God bless everyone. Keep safe.
Hi guys, welcome to another edition of Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlon. I'd like to firstly kick off the show by giving a massive thanks to Kabay and Remit. Thank you very much for trusting me and for having confidence in what I'm doing. I'd just like to thank also all of my listeners for liking and sharing these broadcasts. I'd also like to give a special thanks to Fourth Impact as well for kindly giving me a shout out and my program a shout out. It's an absolute honor and privilege to be able to come to you guys live and to be able to carry out these little podcasts, if you like, kind of video podcasts. And it's a real pleasure to be able to have my final guest in my series. When I started this out, I thought I would just go for maybe 2 or 3 episodes, but here we are. This is the 5th episode in my first series, and of course we have another series coming in the next week or so. Thanks so much for watching, and look forward to today and interviewing my first guest. My first guest is a 6-time gold medalist in Arnis, which is stick fighting. I don't know much about this from only what I've seen on YouTube, so I have a lot of questions, and so it's over to Ermar Alexander or Alex. Over to you, and thanks so much for joining me.
Hi Malcolm, thank you for having me in your show. Much appreciated. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you so much. In fact, I actually got a Father's Day card from my son, and funnily enough, it features the all too famous Star Wars and the I Am Your Father thing. I guess that's where it's come from. You can tell us more about your involvement with Star Wars later on, but firstly, tell me a little bit about Arnis and what it is, and etc.
Well, Eskrima or Arnis, I've been training the martial arts since 1999, and it was really much of a passion, really, because I've never heard of the art when I was a kid, that we had such a very fascinating martial art that came from the Philippines. It wasn't until then my best friend told me about it. So it kind of, once I knew what the art was about and where it's from, and it was from the same place that I was born, it kind of immediately hooked me and kind of took hold on my culture side, that I learned more of the Philippines. So yeah, that's how I really got addicted to the martial art of the Philippines.
It's now become a sport in the Philippines, or a national sport. Tell me how that came about, and what does that mean in terms of its popularity?
Yes, it was a big change when they had changed the national sport, because before I think it was taklaw with the ball, almost like a football. And then I think it was, I can't remember what year it was changed, but it made a massive impact into the Eskrima sports stick fighting. So now it's a national sport, and it's becoming more popular around the world. And the competition level is getting higher in an athletic kind of level style of competition, and it has a massive advertising for the sport itself.
Fantastic. And what sort of inspired you to get so involved? Because you've already become a gold medalist. Tell me about where these competitions are held, and a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so the competition are held around the world. We have the European Championship, which is done probably in around Europe, and then you have the World Championship that's done every 2 years, and is held all over either US or whatever country represents the winning country represents on the final show. So they pitch for that particular competition and event. So it can happen anywhere around the world for the every 2 years World Championship. And also you've got the Asia Games, which they also do the Arnis or the Eskrima Championship, which is equivalent to the Olympic kind of style competition.
And what do you think makes this sport, or this self-defense or a martial art? What makes it so special, and why is it popular in the Philippines? How did it all come about?
It was really down to, say, back in the 1500s with Lapu-Lapu kind of fighting style when the Spanish invade the Philippines. So they used this similar kind of fighting style, sword fighting. So it kind of came about from there, and then it got developed into stick fighting when the Spanish banned the art of sword fighting. So the Filipinos designed it to hide through dance into stick format. So that's how it kind of developed into what it is nowadays as a sport stick fighting style.
How do you think it can be relevant to people nowadays? When somebody perhaps wants to start training with you, what would you sort of say to them about it? How would it be useful to them? What does it teach them?
Well, now that I've developed it highly, a lot of people who do come and train with me is mainly for either self-defense, fitness kind of level, and also now because I've touched base into the filming industry, I get a lot of stunt people who want to learn the martial art because it's used a lot in the film industry, like Hobbs and Shaw is used in Bourne Ultimatum, and it's also used in Arrow TV series, and also all Hollywood, majority of Hollywood action movies. So I have a mixture of people who are coming to the gym now. Before, it's mainly highly used for self-defense kind of tool, but I get a lot of actors and stunt community come and train with me for its movement because it's very, very, very good and artistic for the camera.
We have some wonderful pictures there. Perhaps you could kind of talk us through them. The last picture was a group of you. Tell me about where they were and what they were.
So the picture there with the Union Jack, that was my team fighting for Great Britain. So that was the WCAF World Championship held in London. So those are my teammates in a club. So we are very competitive club. So we compete and we test our art, and we represent Great Britain for this kind of sports. So we are very, very proud of that we go out around the world, myself and my team, represent for GB and fly the flag for Great Britain. So it is a very, very nice feeling to actually train for this particular sport, because sometimes it can take 3 months to train with the team, with the British team. So yeah, it's very, very close to my heart, fighting for the Great Britain.
See, that's really wonderful to hear. You know, you're a Filipino, although you're living here in Britain, you've become British. The fact is, I don't know if you were born British, but the fact is you have a passion for the Philippines, and that you're actually promoting Filipino sport or Filipino culture on the world stage. And also this is inspiring young people. But not only that, you're competing for your country or competing for Great Britain. So I really do admire your passion and your dedication. This sport is not really that well known unless you know people in that circle, like you would see it on TV necessarily. What future plans do you have to try and change that? And can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you are correct. The martial art itself isn't really widely popular, and people do see it in films and movies, thinking it's a kung fu kind of style, but it is not. I mean, my future goal is to actually represent the Filipino martial art in the acting world industry, so that people can get educated that it is a Philippine art, and be a representation of that for the Filipino community as well as the Filipino martial arts, so they understand that art that they use in films are from the Philippines, and it is a unique art, and it's not a kung fu, or it's not from Japan, or it's uniquely from the Philippines.
That's a really important point. And what saddens me a little bit is that some people actually say that everyone who may be basically looks Asian, if you like, they're DVDs, they're Asian or they're Chinese. There's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of people who are confused about people from the Philippines. How would you see the Philippines kind of increasing on the stage? And I guess people even get bullied, sadly, during the COVID-19 crisis. I hear a story of a nurse who was actually kicked and she was told, "Oh, you're Chinese, go back to your country." Well, what can you say about this, and how can you promote the Philippines and be able to stand up for Filipinos through your work?
Yeah, I think it's very sad when Asian do get attacked for this COVID-19 pandemic kind of thing. I think it's like a racial attack, and I think I really condone it. I mean, it's not. I've had a friend who also was in a situation like that, and it's sad to say, but I mean, through martial art training, is always don't lower yourself to these kind of people that attack you for that reason, you know, because end of the day, we do look similar to Chinese, but for myself, I'm a bit darker than Filipino, but we will get part abused because of that situation, because of our eyes, and we look Asians. So I would always say is through martial art is be proud of who you are and don't lower yourself to these people that are abusive and stand up against them. You know what I mean? Don't necessarily have to fight if you don't have to. You know what I mean? If your life depends on it, then of course you defend yourself. You know, and always report.
See this. Hmm. See, this is the thing. What you're doing is you're inspiring young people, but actually you're teaching young people, and you're teaching many people these practical skills of self-defense. And it's not the case that you go about fighting everybody or anything like that. It's just that you obviously have this skill, this technique for self-defense, that actually if you are being attacked, you can defend yourself. And I guess this is also very popular. Can you tell me about the kind of people who maybe would have come to your gym?
Yes, they're very popular too in self-defense aspect. I mean, people that come to me for self-defense, a majority would do about knife, anything like that, or they've had an incident in the past, so that's why they want to learn the Filipino martial art, because they've seen videos about it, how practical it is on the street. But I always tell my students that when they do learn self-defense, is always use it for the last resort. You know, never use it for the bad reasons, and you know. And if you do need to use it, only use it for if your life is a threat. And you know, always report it to the police. If you can walk away from a fight or from a self-defense point of view, always walk away. That's what I always teach the students.
And what makes this different, say, from kung fu or karate or any of the, or boxing or any of the other sort of more popular sports that we've heard about?
This is a very, very unique art compared to other martial art. The reason being it's taught in military kind of style and is very effective in the street because of its weapon style system. Its practicality, because we deal a lot with knife technique, and also the empty hands section is very street based. It's not very like kung fu. It's very showy. Also, we do have what you call an artistic side or very cultural martial arts style, but also has its own street element to it, because we always teach the students multiple attackers and the simplicity of the art, how to use about it. Because we're dealing with weapons, it is more effective because you understand the speed of the weapons and you understand the danger of the weapon. You don't tend to walk in front of it. You tend to talk your way out if you can possible, because the danger of it. And at the end of the day, you don't want to hurt other person with the weapon that you've been training.
See, that's the thing. It's all about discipline, which is very important, isn't it? And unfortunately, I guess in all cultures, but actually a lot of young people now, maybe they maybe are living over here. Maybe there might be a lack of discipline with some people. You know, in schools, people get bullied and have a really hard time. So do you get a lot of young people joining as well, and parents kind of encouraging their youngsters to kind of go to these classes as well? And tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, I have a lot of ranges from age from 4 years old to up to 60, and family members come in joining with their children. Like in the Saturday class, I have kids class purely, and sometimes I invite their fathers or their mothers to come and join with their kids so that they can create this playful thing and they can have this family bonding while doing a martial art and having it a fun day for them, you know. And also you get them to understand that the young kids also sometimes don't understand how to use it, or they use it for the wrong reason, and always have to teach them the respect of the art. So yeah, it's good. I do have families come and join us and train with their sons and their kids with them at the same time.
Which is awesome. You know, I remember for a long time now, I've kind of known you and I've kind of seen you around, particularly, of course, the Barrio Fiestas of London, which, of course, is a yearly event that's happened in London now for 5 years. And, of course, you're very much involved with the Philippine Centre before. And I know there are these classes that happen at the Barrio Fiesta, and it's really nice to see kind of everyone taking part. You know, it's a sport or a form of self-defense that anyone can kind of take part in. But I know obviously practically, you know, for me, for example, I'm not coordinated. So I think I do remember once you kind of maneuver my hands in certain ways so I could become involved. You know, what can you say to people who've got no coordination like myself?
Yeah, I get this problem all the time when students do come to my gym. Coordination is always number one factor for them, and always tell them I was like that when I was started at the beginning. Everybody has this issue. It's all about repeating it, practicing it over and over again. You do get it eventually. It's about patience as well. You know, it's not about don't give up. I started the same way as a new student would start. So everyone has a beginning. So it's about repeating the technique. So yeah, just don't lose heart and make it fun for yourself. Enjoy it is what it's about. If you don't enjoy it, you're not going to understand and get it, you know.
No, that's awesome. You know, why do you think it's kind of important for young people maybe to kind of get more involved in Filipino culture and embrace their culture? You know, a lot of people grow up here, maybe they haven't been back home to the Philippines, maybe they haven't identified with their culture. How do you think this helps them? How can you encourage people, or why do you think people should be involved more with their roots and their culture?
I think it's very important. Like for myself, I was brought up in a very mixed family. My dad is English, and I came in the country in 1986 not knowing English at all, not a word. So for me, not knowing the culture was a big impact. So I was brought up in a very, very English lifestyle before that I came from the Philippines. So for me, finding the martial art, the Filipino martial art, I understood my roots. And I think it's very, very important for Filipino like myself who grew up in UK do not understand themselves. Because for me, I had friends weren't Filipinos, so there, a lot of them were English white kids or black kids, and I didn't really understand myself as well. When I found this martial art in 1979, I fell in love with it because I knew I could connect into my own culture, my mother's side, and that's why I kind of stuck into this Filipino martial art. I kind of sort of like understood the history of it, because not just about the art, we also teach the history of the Filipino martial art and how it developed and how it was used. War against Spain and war against the Americans and the Japanese. So yeah, I think it's very important for British Filipino to connect with their roots. It's very, very important to understand who they are.
My end. Let's go ahead and go to a break right now, and we'll be right back with the second part of Pusong Pinoy with Land.
Master Alex here, your martial art instructor. I am an 8-time world champion stick fighter. I have worked in movies such as Star Wars, Artemis Fowl, and Hobbs and Shaw. I have students around the world, including actors, stunt performers, military personnel, police officers, and security guards, to name a few. I specialize in Filipino martial art called Eskrima, which focuses in hand-to-hand combat, weapons training, knife fighting. I have designed unique self-defense courses for all ages and abilities that you can do at home, which is fun, will keep you fit, and help you prepare when danger strikes.
Hi, my name's Jane Walker. I'm the founder and the CEO of the Purple Community Fund. We work with some of the poorest children and families in the Philippines. We run an integrated service plan from education, health, nutrition, social intervention, livelihood workshops, right the way through to business startups. And our goal is really to see as many Filipino families as we possibly can help to have a better and more sustainable and safe life. I have this great pleasure of welcoming you to Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. And I've known Malcolm for a very long time, and he has been a massive supporter of the Purple Community Fund. In fact, Malcolm's been a massive supporter of pretty much everything Filipino. His drive, his passion and his energy is just absolutely admirable. He is a voice for the Filipino community in Britain. He supports all up and coming bands and charities that are doing work in the Philippines. And I know you are going to really enjoy this show.
And we're back. Thanks so much for watching again. I really appreciate you being a part of this. And it's back over to you, Alex. Can you tell me a little bit about now how the situation is with COVID-19 and how that might have affected you and your business?
At the moment, it's affected the gym 100%. And I mean, we haven't been able to open for about 4 months now. So it's affected the teaching and the martial art industry massively.
So tell me a little bit about how many people you used to have within a class, and would you do this on a weekly basis or so many times a week? And tell me a little bit about your gym and what that meant for the community, really.
Yeah, the gym is open 6-7 days a week, and we teach classes every day. So we have an average of students coming in, say between 10 and 15 students coming in daily. So we have 3 classes during the days and through the evening. So having not able to open and teach is a massive impact. And we have served a lot of people around the community, around the area, as well as the Filipino community itself. I mean, we've had a lot of kids coming in, learning the Filipino martial arts, teaching them how to be preparing for the World Championship and the British Championship. I have young kids from the Filipino community enjoying it and understanding their culture. Them not coming in, joining the weekly classes is a very big impact to them, you know, health-wise, and also for their passion on doing sports.
What do you think there's any way, so is the government supporting you in any way? Are there any grants? Because obviously you've got costs like the cost of gym, the rental. Have you managed to get any kind of support through this?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few grants available out there, but unfortunately some of them I wasn't qualified for because of the they do it through the actual rate of the business how big it is. They're only supporting the one below 15k, and unfortunately my gym is above the 20k mark on rental value. So it's been very, very difficult for me to apply on those grants. So at the moment there's a new one that they brought out, discretion kind of grant that I'm waiting for. But again, it won't be enough to fund the running costs of the gym, because At the moment, it's been like what 4 months, 5 months. It's going to be August time, so I don't think it's going to be back to normal for the next end of this year. So I would really struggle on running the gym at full capacity because the landlord are still charging full amount. At the moment, I'm teaching full time in the Zoom class for the members that's been in the gym for a long time. My percentage has gone down to almost, I would say, 1 to 2% of students retention. So the loss of income is massive, and for me to actually afford to pay for the rent is very, very difficult. That's why I started this campaign, Indiegogo, to actually fund the gym to keep it alive.
You know, it's a really worrying time, and of course, not only have you been affected with your business, but a lot of people have been furloughed, a lot of people have lost their jobs, particularly the people in the entertainment industry as well. So this has also meant that they just don't have the available cash to kind of do the things that they did before. So why do you think it's important? Why would you encourage people to maintain their fitness during this time? And can you sort of, your online classes, can they help with that?
Yes, I think the lockdown has affected people mental health. I mean, what I do on the class, I think it keeps them focused, keeps them a reason to do something, because a lot of people are not going to work or have lost a job, and they have no will to wake up early in the morning or to do things, so they have no reasons. For me, teaching martial arts gives you that reason and gives you that that fitness into your health, mental health, that to carry on and be strong and believe in yourself. You know what I mean? So it does help that particular aspect to be strong, you know, just to carry on and keep going.
Well, I know you've built this up over a long time. You know, as you said, you've had this gym open for 10 years. You know, it's a significant achievement, and you know, you've worked very hard for this, and I really do wish you all the luck. How can people get involved? And tell me a little bit about your campaign, your fundraising, and what can people avail of?
Yeah, the gym was open in 2010, and it will be 10 years this July. So, and it was open, helped by the Philippine ambassador. Opened up the first day, which was very, very nice. So it's got a very good history. It's the very first Filipino martial art in central London that teach purely Filipino martial arts, and also that is owned and run by a Filipino person that runs the gym. So for the people that wants to support the running of this martial arts, they can log into the Indiegogo campaign that I'm doing. They don't have to do martial art or purchase the perks that's available there if they're not into the martial art, but we're happy to donate. There is a donating button there, so you can donate from anything you want, from £1 if you wish to. Anything would be a big help at this time.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, as much as I probably, yeah, sorry, I'm losing sound a little bit. As much as I probably wanted to get into martial arts myself, you know, I'm the world unfittest person. You know, I couldn't even run for a bus. I seriously need your help, I think. But the thing is, I think, as you say, people can donate. So maybe if they don't even want one of these packs, they can still help you, because I think what you're doing is very for the Filipino community as well.
Yes, definitely. It's a very good presentation for the Philippines community, because I do teach a lot of Filipino kids that comes in, and they learn a lot from their culture. And also, it's very nice for them to see and look up to someone, a person like me, who's involved in this kind of thing, involving in films, and represents the Philippine community, and someone for them to look up to as well, and also for them to feel proud that they have a martial art that people love, that are non-Filipino in the gym, and feel that, let them know that, wow, this is from their culture, and it's how it is used in the film industry, and how artistic it is, and how excellent it is in a self-defense format.
Tell me a little bit about Star Wars. I'm a big fan of Star Wars, you know, and the whole lightsaber thing and Jedi kind of thing as well. How did you become involved in that? Did you actually get to go on the set? Have you met any cast? I know there's a lot of Star Wars fans out there, so tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. Star Wars is one of my epic story to get into it, because I myself grew up with watching Star Wars back in the days. So for me, getting this job, even though I was just only extra, but like a main extra in the background, I was in this film set for 21 days playing as a rebel fighter. So I'm already a trained actor at this point. But an agency called me and said, "Oh, would you like to get involved and get onto this? It's going to be a long period of time for you to be on set." And I went, "Hell yeah!" It's Star Wars. Who would not want to be in that? You know what I mean? There's thousands of people want to go and visit a set. So when I got into it, it was fantastic. I met the director for the Skywalker. We had a fantastic talk, and looking at the actual spaceship in front of you and how they actually create this movie is just amazing. The set was so massive, and the people in the cast and the main cast, you get to meet them. I mean, you don't get to talk to them personally because you've got to respect their space. But I mean, I managed to meet a few of them, which is you know, it's a lifetime thing to achieve. But it was fun. It was really fun.
I'm so pleased about what you're doing. You know, I've known you for a long time, and I think it's great. I got to watch you guys at the Philippine Theatre as well in your recent production, and I actually think you've actually got a really good look. And actually, you know, I'm sure you're going to go very far. Maybe one of the kind of, I don't know, martial arts superhero rescue somebody or something. You know, there's a lot of big films out there, particularly in Hollywood. But have you ever thought about going to Hollywood and maybe becoming the next Steven Seagal? Or
Well, I mean, it's not my big dream to make it big, but I'd like to work on something, developing a feature film and having a Filipino representation of using the Filipino martial art. So that is my end goal for this. And obviously, I will never leave my gym. My gym will always be there. But yeah, that's my big plan in the future, is become a good actor and represent the Filipino community and represent the Filipino martial arts through this kind of medium. So yeah, I have written a few stories about in Philippine kind of style, and I've made a short film while I was out there. I haven't finished editing yet, but having Filipino representing as lead into these action movies, and I think it would be great. So hopefully I'm the spark to that, and hopefully the young generation will follow suit. I think we need more, you know, having that kind of dreams.
you know, thank you very much for spending the time. You know, I really do appreciate it. And can you tell us once more how we can support you, how we can access your website, and how we can kind of get involved?
Yes, thank you, Malcolm, for having me in your show. If you'd like to support the hybrid FMA martial art, the Filipino Gym, you can follow me on Facebook, or they can go to the Indiegogo, which I've been posting every day on this plugin for the Indiegogo campaign. They can click on it. They can either buy the perks that's available, that's on there, or they can just donate as little as they want or as much as they want. Anything small would be a massive help for the gym. So if you can support the gym, it is a representation of the Filipino community, and it will be very, very sad for it to go, because it's the first one of its kind in central London.
You know, it's a really sad story, really, about what's happening right now and how you've been impacted by COVID-19. You know, I know you put your heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears into this business, but also into this passion of yours. So I really do wish you the very best. You know, this is very, very important that you continue this, because you are inspiring people to not only keep fit, but you're inspiring people to appreciate their culture and promote their culture as well. I'd just like to say hi, Rudy. Good day. Happy Father's Day. Stay safe. Thanks very much for everyone who's watching. Hi, Susan Lovejoy. I know Susan's been a big supporter. Can you tell me how you know Susan and her support you're doing?
Yes, we did the production together with IO. She was my co-actor, and then we've developed a very good friendship throughout that production. And she's been helping me a lot onto promoting the campaign and the art herself. So she's a very good singer, and she's using the Filipino culture also to show around the world. So which is really, really nice of her and very kind of her to be helping as well.
Do you have any final words for your supporters, friends, family around the world?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's supported me throughout the years, and I appreciate it. And I love you all, bottom of my heart. Thank you for being there, and thank you for supporting the gym and myself. So I appreciate everything that you've done and helped towards the helping out the Filipino martial arts. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you as one of our guests. And in fact, this is the last episode in the first series of Pusong Pinoy with Malcolm Conlan. So I really do appreciate your time. Maraming salamat. Mabuhay Filipinas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you watching, and don't forget to tune in next week. Thanks for everything you guys are doing in terms of supporting this very, very important cause, and see you again. Take care.